I really don't think I can fully explain what it feels like to go through anaphylaxis, but that was my best attempt. One thing I've been dealing with in this flare is very intense bone pain. Hey y'all, it is Saturday afternoon. I've got some good news and some bad news about my hospitalization here. Start with the good news. I made it through the night with no reactions, and I'm still continuing to feel better little by little, although I'm just thoroughly exhausted. And the bad news, which I guess it depends how you look at it, it may not really be bad news, but I am not going home today as I had hoped because the doctor is switching up my medication regimen, my treatment plan, and he wants to make sure I'm stable on the changes before sending me home. So I can understand why he's being cautious. I obviously didn't vlog my first few days here in the hospital because I was in really bad shape, and that obviously raises some concerns, and they want to make sure I am okay to go home. They don't want to send me home prematurely. So the changes we're making include no more IV steroids around the clock. Instead, I'm on a liquid steroid to put through my J tube, and I'm starting to taper off of it, meaning I don't stop the steroids suddenly. We're slowly decreasing the dose over time. Also, no more scheduled breathing treatments. I can take one as needed, but we put me back on my daily maintenance inhaler for my asthma and my breathing that I usually take at home. And my other medications that I take at home are staying the same. The IV Benadryl, he still wants me to take 50 milligrams every 6 hours instead of as needed, because at home I take the IV Benadryl as needed. I don't know when he's going to switch me off scheduled Benadryl to an as needed basis. He may want me to wait to do that until I see my immunologist on Tuesday. I'm really not sure, but those are the changes we're making, and if all goes well with those changes, then the plan is to discharge me tomorrow, so hopefully that happens. Well, I managed to take a nap and took some medicine. My mom went back home for a bit to take care of some things around the house. She'll be back later. And I wanted to take a moment to talk to y'all about anaphylaxis. It's something I deal with pretty often, and unless you've experienced it personally, I think it can be difficult to really understand what it means to have an anaphylactic reaction. So to describe my anaphylaxis in one word would be absolutely terrifying. I don't believe it's something I will ever get used to, even though I've gone through anaphylaxis more times than I can count. Reactions can definitely present themselves differently from warrior to warrior. For me personally, it generally starts with the bright red rashes on my body, and I'll get very nauseous and dizzy. I can have blood pressure fluctuations, and I start to become disoriented because as my airways constrict, my chest gets tight, and my throat begins to swell shut. I enter a state of primal panic, like flight or fight mode. And that is something called a sense of impending doom that happens with severe allergic reactions. And while I'm in this state of panic and I'm losing sensation in my extremities due to lack of oxygen, I'm losing fine motor control, I gotta think about administering my rescue med, the IV Benadryl. When is the appropriate time to use the EpiPen? And it's not easy. One of the most difficult parts about this for me is that my anaphylactic reactions are all mostly spontaneous, so they occur without warning. And so there's not really a way to prevent them, which can be very difficult. But I am thankful for a good medical team and all of the resources I have in place to keep me safe through these reactions. I really don't think I can fully explain what it feels like to go through anaphylaxis, but that was my best attempt because I'm thoroughly exhausted, but there's a little more insight for y'all. I hope it was helpful. While I slept some more, I'm just utterly exhausted from all of the heavy-duty medications and not being able to sleep while in the hospital. The reactions themselves take a lot out of me, and when I'm in a flare like this, my body just expends so much more energy. So I am resting and sleeping when I can. Anyways, I just had some medications, one of which was my IV Benadryl. Unfortunately, I started having a little bit of a reaction, nothing serious, just some rashes on my forearms and stomach, but the IV Benadryl took care of it. And in this cup is my crushed up steroid, so I'm just gonna mix it with water, flush it through my J tube. Alright, just flushing the rest of the medication through. Well, my mom is back and we played Trouble. At first I was winning really well, and then
I was winning really well.
my mom was winning really well, and then I ended up winning because I got them all in home first. And this is the first time since I've been here that I had enough energy to play Trouble. That's a good sign. Really hoping we can go home tomorrow, right, Mom?
Yeah, I need to go home too.
Yeah, we need to get out of this hospital. I think I'm feeling safer and like more stable, ready to go. We just gotta wait and see what the doctor says tomorrow morning. Well, I am getting ready for bed. I wanted to show you all two things that have been super helpful for my hospital stay. This is, I don't know, I just call it a hair scrunchie. The pump, ignore the pump, it's just gonna go off. And you put it on like this, and it keeps your hair back so I can wash my face. And I got this at Bed Bath & Beyond. And this is my favorite dry shampoo. It's Not Your Mother's Clean Freak. It's awesome. So I'm just gonna brush my teeth, wash my face, hook back up to my infusion. Those pumps are very impatient. I've only been unhooked for a few minutes and lots of beeping in the hospital, but hopefully going home tomorrow. I'm starting to get really homesick. Even though I know I needed to be here, it can be demoralizing to be stuck in the hospital, but I'm fairly confident the doctor will okay me to go home tomorrow as long as tonight goes well. So just getting ready for bed. What do you think, Mom? Are we ready to go home?
I am.
So I am ready for bed, ready to go home. I've got a lot of things to talk to my immunologist about on Tuesday, and one thing I've been dealing with in this flare is very intense bone pain. That is a symptom of mast cell. I generally don't experience that unless I'm in an acute flare like I am now, and at first it was really intense bone pain, like deep pain in my bones, and as I've progressively gotten out of this flare, it's gotten better. And that's something I want to talk to my immunologist about. Also just tweaking my treatment regimen, because obviously we don't want this to happen again. I don't feel like my mast cell is under control enough. I was going to say something else, but I forgot. I'm just exhausted, but
You need to go to bed, Jacqueline.
yeah, this stupid pop. Silence. So we are going to sleep, and hopefully tomorrow we will be going home. So with that, I will say goodnight, and thanks for joining us.